Welcome to Module 5. After learning why script coverage is important and how it fits into the development process, it's now your turn. In the next module, you'll learn some tools for providing effective script coverage. In summary, here are some tips to keep in mind. Be direct and prioritize the plot. Remember, coverage is a snapshot of a larger script. The end goal is to make whoever is reading the coverage feel like they've read the whole script. Note important transitions, passages of time, or changes. Use tone words to describe the world of the script. You can use the language of the script in your coverage, especially if it's a period piece. And finally, make sure your coverage accurately summarizes the script so you can save time and gain credibility in your writing. That being said, it might be hard to complete successful script coverage if you haven't seen what that looks like. Next, you'll review a famous script and see what coverage for that script can include.
So when you're writing the summary, it's really helpful when you prioritize the plot. It's really easy to make your script coverage summary very flowy and very detail-oriented, but the point is to sort of be very direct and give that snapshot overview. It's also really helpful if you can sort of think about who your audience is, so that executive should feel like they have read the script once they've read your coverage. It's really important that you get your main points across in both your summary and in your comments. And it's really helpful when you're aware of the transitions and you sort of give us clues to passages of time or any changes that you think are important but can't spend a lot of time on. So for example, if you have two characters who are completing like a series of heists over the entire plot, you can let us know by saying something like, Bob and Bill continue to complete crimes throughout the days or months or weeks, and then continue on to the main idea. Something else that can be really helpful is using the same language in the script as you're writing your coverage. So sometimes screenwriters will give you sort of tone words like dark and ominous or happy and light, and those are buzzwords that help the reader understand the general feel of the project. So when you're writing your summary or when you're writing your comments, those are words that you can reincorporate into your own writing that help us give a better sense of tone and help us see the world. What's also helpful is if you have a period piece, you can use some of the same language, and that also helps us communicate or at least center ourselves in the time period of the piece. So if something is set in 18th century London, you can use words like brethren or hearth, and those are words that are a bit antiquated that help us recognize where we are in space and time. When coverage is written poorly and it is a project that is good, but the summary for it or the comments aren't that strong, it really sort of disrupts the efficiency of the process. Typically when coverage is not written well, the executive or the person reading it has to make the decision if they are going to read the script themselves or if they are just going to trust the opinion of the writer. Essentially what that means then is that writer sort of loses, that person that's writing the coverage loses a sort of credibility, and they become a little less reliable for their opinion, for their writing, and it sort of doesn't help that person progress in their career if the executive or the other people in the company who relies on their work can't really trust them. Is that writer sort of loses, that person that's sort of disrupts the efficiency of the process. Set in 18th century London, you can use words like brethren or hearth, and those are words that are a bit antiquated that help us recognize where we are in space and time. When coverage is written poorly and it is a project that is good, but the summary for it or the comments aren't that strong,